What has allegedly happened that resulted in this defendant being today's fresh custody? He allegedly threatened his grandmother with a screwdriver. This case happened here at Newcastle Local Court in January 2025. The guy's young, he's probably in his 20s, he's dressed in a footy jersey. He's cuffed and he's brought up from the cells below the courtroom. It's a very empty courtroom. There's the magistrate, of course, the court officer, the police prosecutor, and his defence solicitor, plus the 2 correctional officers who have just brought him into the courtroom. One has a clipboard. Clearly there's defendants being moved around behind the scenes. There's no one in the gallery except for me and my pen and paper. The appearance starts with the announcement that this is a show cause matter. And I think the reason that it is a show cause sets the tone as we hear bail considerations. The court hears how the defendant, who has limited ties to the community, was staying at his grandmother's because he had nowhere else to go. Also discussed was his history of violence, pattern of not complying with orders, cultural background, and mental health issues. So why is it a show cause? Because he was on parole at the time of the alleged offending towards his grandmother. Remember, a usual fresh custody will see the prosecution having the burden of arguing why the person should be detained. In a show cause fresh custody, the burden is switched. The defendant has the burden of arguing why they shouldn't be detained. When someone is paroled, it's the legal system allowing the person to be supervised out here in the community, but it's subject to conditions. For example, he must not reoffend while on parole. It can result in the person losing the freedom and serving the rest of the time in jail. Where was I up to? Distracted by the birds. There's always some problem with birds. In my opinion, when it's said that he was on parole after being released only a couple of months ago in November 2024, it sets a tone in the courtroom. The person got to be out here and live with their grandmother rather than be in jail. So the court wants to know why you should stay in the community after this alleged offending. There are different bail conditions suggested to mitigate the risk, but the magistrate is not persuaded. The guy has pled not guilty and there's a short wait for a hearing of only a couple of weeks rather than months. We hear a custodial sentence is possible for this offence if found guilty, meaning jail is possible. Bail is refused. So allegedly threatening your grandmother with a screwdriver while on parole can result in you becoming a show cause fresh custody at the New South Wales Local Court.